and welcome on my channel. Today I'm gonna comment on the recent tests from Empyriangaming on ravaged maps, right? So he had those two videos where he did run like 100 Blight-Ravaged maps, let's say in a juiced mode and in a poor man's mode. Let's say the budget version, right? So what do we learn from those videos and how do I see those tests going, right? So not sure if you saw those videos, but I will link them in the description if you want. And definitely it's worth watching because it's a good content, it's fun content, right? But what does it mean for us? Can we really take something from their time and effort and experience with the game, right? So starting from the beginning, after watching those videos, I can tell that, yeah, those guys don't or didn't really have much experience in running ravaged maps. So for them, I think it's like trying something new, trying finding something funny. What they did is they paired and did run this with an aura bot. So, you know, it's not really to, I don't know, tell other players how they should play, how can they earn their first match blood. It was more just to create content for the YouTube, right? So I think that's the very first distinction that we can, let's say, see that, you know, by running this content with two-person, you don't get any advantages, right? So their build is not to be followed. That way is basically not important for majority of the community or players, right? So the only take I have is that, okay, this can be done if you want. I don't know, maybe looting this with two players is faster. I don't know, you want to run more maps, because for us looting takes almost 50% of the whole time spent in ravaged maps. Then you can, I don't know, sell the loot with, I don't know, somehow split it and sell with two people. Maybe that's faster. I don't know. For me, it doesn't make sense. Actually, it's one of the content type that should be run solo, right? So that's the first thing, right? The second thing is the strategy they chose, right? So for some reason they wanted to use double golden oil, which was my, let's say, exit information of the last league in the 3.20 economy, when we had like Voidborn keys for over 3 divines each, when we had divine orbs for like 280 C, where we had like stacked decks for 2.7 or 3C each. So the economy was really towards double golden oil strategy, right? So I think either they watched my videos or they heard it from someone that 2 golden oil are better than 3 golden oils, because usually what all the streamers do is go like, you know, if golden oil makes sense, yeah, we go for 3. We don't go for 1, we don't go for 2, we go for 3 because it's best in slot, right? And that's what I thought in the past too. But after a few leagues of testing this, I really believe it's the golden oil is more like a variable, because each golden oil, let's say, has decreased efficiency. So the first golden oil will increase your loot by the maximum efficiency, if you can think of this that way, right? So spending like 60 or 70 C will end up you earning like 150 or 200 C per map more than without it, right? So you can be like 140 C better than without golden oils, right? And this only works with triple silver oil, because silver oil increases your loot and golden oil duplicates it, right? So this is really like tight correlation, and I tried it this league. I verified that the triple silver oil with golden oil works much better than 2 silver oils or 1 silver oil, right? So I tried it. Silver oil is also a bit expensive, so I thought maybe we can save some bucks there. Maybe it's the golden oil that drives the income, but no, it's really the combination. And on top of it, there's also this variable of lucky drops, which is an opal oil. So, you know, it's not much. Like we have 18 chests per opal oil out of, I believe, 200, 240 sometimes, based on your quant, etc. and the rolls, right, of the map. So yeah, I believe opal oil is not, let's say, going to proc you every map the, I don't know, currency chest or some rare divine card, right? But it will do this, let's say, in a longer term, right? So by running 10 maps, 100 maps, you know, those chances increase with each run. Yeah, and some maps have like almost all the chests, like currency or div cards or something that can drop really big reward, right? So, you know, having this extra slot for opal oil works great because it's much cheaper than golden oil. It procs sometimes, giving you like high reward, like 1 divine, 2 divine, 10 divine reward, right? So it drives your profit in a long term, right? And what golden oil does is just increases the amount of bubblegum currency, then you need to loot more, and also increases the chances for a big reward, right? But like I said, having 1 golden oil is like having 30% chances to drop additional reward, but the second golden oil is 30% of remaining 70%, right? Not sure if you can see it that way, right? So with 1 golden oil, we have basic chance of 30%. Second golden oil will not proc in the first 30% bands, right? Sorry. So you need to understand how rolling a dice work, right? So if you have only a success of rolling 5 or 6, rolling 4 will be a fail. If you increase your chances to be for the success to be 3, 4, 5, and 6, rolling 4 will be a success. But if you roll 5 and 6, this cost of increasing the chances doesn't give you anything. And this is what I consider is a lost efficiency, right? And for this reason, each golden oil costs the same amount but gives you less efficiency. So it's not really always true that the more the better, right? There is an optimal strategy that needs to be tested against the economy, and sometimes increased bubblegum and some, let's say, chances for item like Voidborn Key, if they are very expensive, really make sense. So in this case, double golden oil would be preferable. Otherwise, I think 1 golden oil or 0 golden oil are usually going to be the meta, right? So I really doubt we'll end up in an economy where triple golden oil is justified, for one reason, because we have opal oil, which works really great with combination of silver and golden. For the second reason is that the economy and the cost of golden oil is just against the math. I mean, it's just against the math, right? So think of this when you will be trying some streamers strategies next time, and we will move on for other comments on what they did. So the other thing is that they really wanted to try the top end, but they didn't run corrupted maps, and according to my tests, I'm still deeply invested into testing those corrupted maps. But if you look at 8 mod and compare it with like, I don't know, 5 mod, what they run, so you can see there is like huge difference. And when you see the divine orbs dropped in those maps and overall total loot, even if this run is like super lucky and we would go down to like, I don't know, average of, I don't know, 300 400 C less, this, let's say, this version of map, 8 mod map, is still superior to anything you can run. So if we had any chance to run only 8 mod maps, that would be one of the best farming strategies in the whole game, right? But we can't, so okay, this is important, right? But just for them to not be running corrupted maps, they already lost income. So they want to test top end, right? They want to show what is possible, but they already have bad assumptions, right? So first thing, they run wrong strategy. They took 2 golden oil. That's not optimal, because I tested this. Single golden oil, double opal or black, or combination of those would be superior to double golden oil, and that's tested. That's something I can confirm. You can check the data, you can run the tests yourself. I believe usually you will end up trading more, losing more time for trades, maybe having the same income if you are lucky. If you are unlucky, you will lose currency by running double golden oil. So that's one thing. Second thing, they did not run corrupted versions. They, let's say, stripped themselves of having an option to play those 8 mod maps to drop big currency, a lot of divines, so the income is, you know, tampered down by this, right? Third thing is they used, can we see this if they show the map device? They used the more expensive fragments. They used two fragments that cost, I believe, respectively like 5C and 4C, or let's say assume it's 5C each, right? So it's 10C per map. When we run 10 maps, it's 100C more, right? So you would see to run 50 maps, that would be over 2 divines more. And yeah, I believe we can say that's around half divine less per hour, maybe 0.4 divine less per hour. And this is something you need to get back. So do you really believe increasing your 400%, because if we look at those, let's say even 8 mod, right? So this map with fragments will be around 400. So if you really believe that increasing this by additional 10% at cost of, let's calculate this. So that's 5% more of your map cost, right? If we just make this a percentage. So you have a 5% increased cost per map. Would that give us 5%? I mean 5%. We actually calculated this to be like half of divine, right? So with this map, maybe, so that's maybe one idea, maybe we should actually run the 8 mod maps with those more expensive fragments, and maybe not 2 but 4, right? Because we can see that this profit is good. But should you do this for like 5 mods? Should you do this for like 6 mod? Because the 5 mod here, this is because we dropped Strangle Cusp, but like with 5 mod, if you calculate half a divine, so if you just calculate, so that's again 5%. So if that's true, you will increase your cost by 5% just to get 5% of more loot. Does it make sense? You need to buy those fragments in bulk. It's not easy. You can see I haven't sold a single one. So this is the loot from around 450, maybe more Ravaged maps, maybe more content because I played also normal Blight. So this is all the fragments I found in 500 maps. If this was viable, this would be even more expensive, right? So this is always a threat, and this is self-sustaining. You barely, maybe except for sacrifice at midnight, although I sustain them pretty well with my strategy. So actually this is self-sustaining. You can filter those out afterwards, so you have less items to pick or sell them, and those you would have to buy. So how would it work? So basically you transfer your loot that you make, you need to sell it into chaos or divine orbs. Then you need to buy oils, right? You need to spend a lot of currency that you just made to buy oils. Then you need to buy more fragments, and then you need to buy maps, and then you can play. So for me, having this extra step is not really justified, because in best case scenario we just get it back. I don't really think increasing the quant by 10% is going to increase your loot by 10%. It's not how it works, or even by 5%. So in my opinion, this was another mistake they did, right? Okay, moving on, right? So with the fragments, the big take on that is this is something I'm gonna test. I'm gonna make a video about it, and I will try to optimize the corrupted maps strategies for you. But before I do this, I would say maybe use those more expensive fragments only for 8 mods, maybe for 6 mods. I need to test 6 mods as well. So far so good. The profit is not perfect, but it can drop. I mean, I had one lucky session, so let's see how it rolls. But for 8 mods, I'm pretty certain, yeah, maybe there is a reason to use more expensive fragments for 8 mods, right? Moving on. So as you can see, they did not have their loot filter optimized. You know, looting, something like that, it's just not optimal. So they spent way more time than they should looting those maps, and each 30 seconds of your map makes your profit per hour worse by half divine. I mean, if you see this, if I change this to 65, you see how the profit drops, right? So the more you make, the more your time is valued, right? That's pretty simple math. You right? The total amount of loot you made, you divide it by the time you spent, and you have the amount, right? So this is in perfect world, right? So we never will reach this unless you are some kind of psycho and you run your 50 maps back to back. Maybe you are really one of the streamers or tryhard that you want to get Mage Blood in 3 days and you're gonna play like for 20 hours in 3 days just to get it, then maybe yeah. But most of you will run those mobs like randomly, or what I suggest, running like 10 mobs, taking a break,
the mobs need to be
go for a walk, grab some water, I don't know, watch some YouTube.
So you either get
try to,
a curse on hit,
reset your brain, otherwise you will burn out too quickly and you won't be able to farm,
dropping like,
you know, a lot of currency, right? Because
million damage because
you need really a lot of currency to keep going,
or
to buy the mobs, so you don't need to make stock,
dog shit gloves
and then to buy some, stack some oils. So you will need a lot of currency to actually keep going effectively, right? So in my opinion, what they did wrong is basically not having the right filter and trying to pick too many stuff. Yeah, I really suggest focusing on having a good loot filter.
Right.
Saves time, but saves the money, right? So this is another thing that tempered their income. So I think that from the first video, that's all we learn. And I think they did run like some Crimson Temple layouts as well. They tried to optimize the div cards drops. I don't think it's really wise. What I do is I run all the maps, so it doesn't really matter. You can drop any divination card from any chest, right, on any layout, right? So it's not like you need to run Crimson Temple to drop Apothecary. No, it will drop from a chest, from a divine card chest on any layout, right? So the only thing it affects is the pump loot. So there are two types of loot, right? So you have one explosion when you finish your encounter. Kesha will stand nearby, right? So I call this pump loot, and you can drop a card from that particular layout or the rare mobs, right? You have now Arch Nemesis mods, those so-called loot goblins. So this is the loot, you know, and you can also drop Strangle Gasp from the same loot explosion. So I don't know, it's just this. And last league I tested Magic Find and I was really disappointed. I had over 300% increased quantity and some rarity, and it didn't really work. I barely dropped any divine orbs, so I don't know, maybe something was wrong. I've heard that using Oria's flask could affect your loot. I don't know. I dropped many divines this league, and I think they changed how Arch Nemesis modifiers spawn, so now we have, let's say, lesser explosions but more frequent, and I can tell that yeah, I dropped way more divine orbs this league than the last league. Of course I played this league a little bit more, but yeah, I don't think we need to aim like layout, Magic Find. It's not the way. We should focus on one single thing, running optimized strategy in the least time possible. So we need to minimize time spent playing, managing inventory, and selling our loot, right? So I made a video about it. Please check my video. I shared my comments on how to optimize the loot management, which will increase your overall income and wealth by a lot, right? So moving to the other video, because from this I don't think we can learn anything more. They said that they earned around, I don't know, 7.5 divine per hour. My tests like shows easily 10 plus almost on every tab. Of course, some tabs are not finished, and this is really the corrupted map test that I let's say split it by IIQ and IIR. So you know, those lower rolled maps will drop less, but on the other hand, then you can be a little bit lucky. So yeah, I don't know. Please also have in mind that those costs are frozen, and in the future I will make like normalization of cost and compare the drop rates to see, you know, what works, what doesn't, what can we expect, and maybe which versions we should run with the twist of fate, right? But that's for another video. So let's move to the other video. So what they did is they used completely different oils. I think we can see.
We're here again.
So they use violet oil.
Welcome back.
and this
To
teal oil
the second.
and crimson oil. Why is this wrong? So, you know, I haven't started this channel like yesterday. It's been quite a while, and I went through all the options. I tested like indigo oil, I tested violet oil, I tested crimson oil, black oil, silver oil, golden oil, all the combinations that I, tried, and I could see if I go the right direction, if my profit, goes up, if I can see more divines per maps, if the loot seems to drop higher quality or higher rarity divination cards or not. So it's, let's say, all my experience that comes to this point where I can easily say, and I'm confident that I know what works, what doesn't, and trust me, violet oil and indigo oil never did and never will work, right? So what is the tier list of oils, right? So the strongest oil that is in the game is a teal oil because it saves you time. So you can run more maps per hour, and if you can run maps, let's say 40% faster, that means your overall income will be 40% faster at zero cost, because teal oils are self-sustainable. You can buy them in bulk for nothing. It's just a free oil, right? So you increase your profit by percentage of your total income, right? The better your income is, the stronger teal oil is, and that's the best part, right? Whether you use single golden oil or the double golden oil is meta, it's even better, right? So teal oil is undisputed king in 3.21, and running a non-teal oil version gives you way more loot. So not only you run your maps longer, but you have to loot more, you have to sell more, right? You have to put more, your maps are more expensive because you will probably run them like free golden oils, free silver oil, free opal oil, or combination of black oils, right? So this will increase your costs by a lot. You can try like maybe some single golden oil strategy, then adding 2 black and 3 opal, 3 silver. Anyway, you will have way more loot. You will spend way more time clearing one map, tampering your income hard, right? With teal oil, it's free, you run faster, you have less loot. It's just, the strongest oil in the game. The second strongest oil in the game is silver oil. Why? Because they recently buffed maps, the ravaged maps, so that now the maps item quantity modifiers also affect blight chest count at 50% value. This was 40% value before. So actually silver oil is quite buffed, and yeah, thanks to what I mentioned before, thanks to the combination of golden oil, silver oil, and opal oil, we can maximize what I find the most crucial about farming ravaged maps. So those lucky drops, whether it's divine raw divine orb, voidborn key, or like I believe somewhere here a doctor, right? So this is what we want to do. We want to maximize this and really work on this as a top priority, right? So silver oil enables us golden oil. This enables us more divine orbs than without it, right? So previously we did run like 2 black, 2 silver, 2 opal, 3 teal. It was the most effective because it was cost effective, and having golden oil back then in that meta, in that economy, actually did not make us more currency. So now things change because of adding voidborn key, things change because of buffing silver oil, and now golden oil is meta, right? So going further than silver oils, then I believe golden oil is strong, but it depends. And the same goes for black oil. Black oil lost a little bit because they buffed it by 25%, but since you cannot multiply 6 by 25% to get integer number, so they increased it by, I believe, less than 20%, right? So it's 1/6. So unfortunately, that's the math. They didn't go for 8%, now it's 7%. It used to be 6. And if previously you calculated 6 plus 6 plus 6 multiplied by 25%, so the total number could be increased by 20%, just a bit higher. So it got a bit nerfed because of those shenanigans with removal of epidemiology and atlas bonus and whatever. So yeah, black oil is a bit worse, golden oil is still fine, but it will depend what is the
best combination. Then opal oil is stronger than crimson oil, and no other oil can do what those two oils can. So I think this is pretty simple. Early on, maybe crimson oil is fine because you don't have enough financial fluidity, so you need to have some currency to buy more maps, buy some oils, and do not, let's say, getting stuck with selling single items, right? So you should sell your loot in bulk. You should keep having currency to buy more maps to continue playing. Then you will earn your mage blood much faster, right? So yeah, that would be basically all that matters in terms of oils. And the other thing that we learned from this video is actually that the mirror shards can drop. So this is very nice. I have played like 1,500 maps in the past. I haven't seen this. I asked people around that also have like 500 maps plus. They never seen this. So Empyrian is like super lucky guy. It's a so-called streamer luck. So thanks for knowing this. This is really important message because we've always wondered, can those shards drop from those shard chests, right? So after they changed the exalted shard into, the exalted orb into divine orb, we lost a lot because blighted maps dropped a shit ton of exalted cards, those brother stash, etc. So I don't know, we were really sad about this change from our perspective, because yeah, those shard chests always dropped you a few exalted shards, and that drove the income up. Now we lost this, but we got something else, so I think it's fine. Yeah, but the fact that the mirror shard can drop, it's really exciting, right? And I will always be thinking about this now when I open those those shard chests, right? So yeah, I think that's nice. And apart from that, and they end up having, without the shards counted in, something around 5 to 6 divines per hour. So this is actually pretty close to normal blights, right? So if you would choose up and corrupt your normal blights, you could even do this fully AFK, right? So there are builds that can just stand in a place, clear the hardest normal blight map, do nothing, just loot, repeat, right? So why would you bother with like clearing ravaged map, taking all the loot, having bigger investment because they cost way more, just to have the same profit as you run normal blights? For me, that doesn't make sense, doesn't add up, and this test is not a low-end ravaged map test. So what would be the strategy that I recommend running early on? So my take on that is just run normal blights until you have your build ready to run the top end ravaged strategies, which I have in this file, which you can see tested in dozens, if not hundreds of examples. I have all the data. I will do some, some statistic for them, but you should be running normal blights. If you really want to have chance to drop Strangle Gasp, if you really want to have chance to drop something nice, I don't know, maybe it's a better way, although I don't think so. Maybe you should run like Crimson Oil, Teal Oil if you can, and Black Oil. So those three oils are basically worth nothing. And early on, the map will cost like 10C, 15C, right? So adding like additional 2C, 0C, and maybe 3-4C, it's actually going to be very cost effective. And you will, by the combination of lucky chests and chances for additional drop, which Black Oil offers, you will have way more chances to drop raw divine orb or a lucky card, right? So that's one idea, right? A second idea is something that we used to run in the past. So a combination of teal, silver, and black, right? So it's a triple teal, yeah? And then it's 2 opal oils, 2 silver oils, and 2 black oils. In our Discord, there is a guy who runs a lot of those. He really likes this, I think, and he does a good job by testing this. So, he really tries this out, and in his tests, this doesn't look bad. So you will have much less investment, getting maybe slightly worse loot, especially in a long run where the golden oil really increases your chances for a doctor or Apothecary or whatever, right? So I wouldn't recommend running this in current meta with Voidborn Key, etc. But yeah, it's something used to work. It used to work better than other combinations of Opal, Silver and Black, because I really spent a lot of time testing those oil without golden oil, knowing that the golden oil is a waste upfront. So this was out of equation. So we were only left with those 4 oils. I think I tested, 5 oils. So I think I've tested like pretty decent amount of scenarios, including those oils. And my conclusion is that this was strongest. After 3.20 changes, I don't think this works. It is optimal way. It still works, but it's not the optimal way. Now we should use golden oil. So I think that's it about Empyrian tests. So I'm really glad he promoted a bit this content, because I think it's fun. I think he had a shit ton of fun, which is the most important there. But I don't think you should really rely on his tests, and we don't learn a lot from them. I believe I clarified everything about his tests compared to my knowledge, and I hope this video was helpful for you. So stay tuned, try my other videos, try watching my other videos. Yeah, subscribe, join our Discord, and have fun, I guess. Cheers, bye.